Okay. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, the amazing gamer DJMC here. I'm gonna be making two review videos. Basically on Spider-Man 3, the editor cut, and MTV Spider-Man one. I feel like I could maybe done a better job because I feel like when I watched those, I kind of maybe rushed it in a way. So this is gonna be the MTV one first, and then we will be going over the editor cut of Spider-Man 3 again. Also, might as well mention this. When I get to do more reactions on the season 2 of the Spider Analog Horror series, except this month, October's almost finished. This is what I'm going to do. For next year, when we get to October, or maybe I'll still do it even though we're past it, I'll still continue reviewing the rest of the Marvel Zombie content I still have, like the Marvel Zombie Collection series I have. Let me know if you guys want me to still continue that or wait until next month for Halloween for next year. Let me know in the comments when this gets uploaded. But anyway, MTV Spider-Man, or known as Spider-Man the New Animated Series, the only Spider-Man cartoon show that has a CGI 3D show. And before anyone asks what year did this show came out, it came out in the early 2000s, like the year after the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie. The show, it was supposed to be like a continuation of the Raimi trilogies in a way, but sadly it is not. It is its own continuity. So basically, the only movie that's connected to this show's universe is the events of the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie. Because if you look at Spider-Man's suit in the show, it looks like the Sam Raimi 2002 suit, but the difference is Peter's Max eyes can now tell facial expressions on his face. Like you can tell if Spider-Man's angry or supplies and stuff like that. Like you could tell that with the eye movement on the mask. But this Peter Parker does have the same power set as Tobey's Peter, organic webbings and whatnot. However, I found something out because I originally have the show on DVD. Actually, I got it on VHS first and then DVD. And I had to replace the DVD set, I think, 3 times, I believe. But yeah, Spider-Man the New Animated Series lasted for sadly 1 season. And from what the show had, it wasn't that bad. I still like it. It's a show I still watch from time to time. But during the year of it being made, they kind of released the episodes out of order because when you get it on DVD, it has them in the right order. Dix 1 has the first 8 episodes, and then Dix 2 has the final 5. You only see 5 comic book Spider-Man themed villains in the show, which are, let's see, Lizard, Kingpin, Silver Sable, Electro, and Kraven the Hunter. However, this CGI Spider-Man cartoon show was actually supposed to be adapted to become the first ever Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon show by the Ultimate Spider-Man comic book writer Michael Bendis, I think. Let me know in the comments if I got that right. If not, feel free to correct me in the comments and please be polite about it. Please and thank you. And I'm talking about early 2000s Ultimate Spider-Man, not the new one from this time era. But, let's see. So, yes, in the show there's 5 comic book themed villains, while the rest of the show has original ones for some reason. But, basically the show is also, I should mention this, MTV apparently is a music channel for young people. So in this show, you don't see Aunt May besides a picture of her and Uncle Ben. Basically in this episode, actually, Hero and Villains, which is actually the first episode. But you do see J. Jonah Jameson from some episodes, but not a whole lot because they wanted to focus the show mainly on Peter, MJ, and Harry. Here's the thing though. Harry in this show has blonde hair, which I don't know why, because you clearly show Norman Osborn does not have blonde hair from the pictures you show of him. So why give blonde hair to Harry? But yeah, the show mostly focused on them trying to balance their lives at ESU, while also Peter trying to balance his double life as Spider-Man, but also trying to be there for his friends. But basically, hero versus villain. The first villain we see is named Turbojet, and he's kind of a combine of two other characters. One of them is definitely Turbojet, which I know because I did a review on Spider-Man the '90s animated series. He made his first appearance in season 3. Um, Basically, Turbojet steals like old history pieces, I believe, that are worth a lot of money, and donates them or gives them to his boss to give him big money to be donated to a building that's being taken down by ESU by Oscorp, apparently. But of course, at the end of the day, Spider-Man stops them or stops him, I should say. Sorry about that. And yeah. Although I find it funny, it's called Heroes and Villains because for some reason, uh, even though Troberjet is doing the long fame, people look at him as a hero while they still think Spider-Man as a villain. And also keep in mind, like when Spider-Man sees the cops, he does run away, which is Spider-Man accurate because cops don't like vigilantes and stuff like that. And of course, this does tick Peter off a little bit. I will say this Spider-Man had the most unique web swing animation, and plus, um, I should mention this: Spider-Man in this show was voiced by Neil Patrick Harris, who voices Spider-Man one time for this year, and then it takes 7 more years for him to voice a character again in Shattered Dimension. He's the voice actor behind the Amazing Spider-Man voice. But yeah, he was a villain. Not a bad way to start off the episode. Episode 2, Royal Scheme. And this is where we get a comic book themed villain from Spidey's Rogues Gallery. We get the Kingpin. But not just any ordinary Kingpin. We get the one from the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie. And even the best part, the Kingpin actor himself reprised his role to voice the character in this Spider-Man show. Which that actually surprised me. And actually, believe it or not, I technically saw this first before I saw Ben Affleck's Daredevil. So at the time, I thought it was kind of odd though in the movie why Kingpin was black in the movie, even though in the comics we see him be a white guy, just a big guy. But basically, Kingpin wants to steal a chip that can hack into the biggest world banks around the world. And of course, he tricks Spider-Man into doing it, but Peter figures out what's going on and he stops him at the end of the day. It also shows a little something that we don't see until, if you look at the picture right now from Spider-Man 2, like Peter trying to make it to MJ's play performance, which at the end of the episode Peter does, but yeah, it doesn't go his way a little bit because she ends up walking away with one of the cast members. Let's see. But still a good episode. Plus, you get to see technically Sam Raimi's Spider-Man in the red and blue suit versus Kingpin in a way, because you don't see that until if you play the Spider-Man free movie tie-in video game onto Xbox 360, PC, and PS3. Anyway, Law of the Jungle, another comic book themed villain, appears on the show. We get the Lizard, which, funny fact though, I did not know who voiced Dr. Kirk Connors in this show because I did not listen to the actor's music. That's right, a singer from a famous rock band, or I should just say singer in general. Apparently, Rob Zombie is the voice behind Dr. Kirk Connors in this one-shot episode. Sadly, though, that's I will say this: this Spider-Man show is kind of more mature for kids. Like, basically, you hear the characters swear from time to time. Like, you even hear Spider-Man say "damn it" and stuff like that, or you hear somebody say "bitch" or "what the hell" and stuff like that. But yeah, Law of the Jungle. Dr. Carnes is working on basically the serum to regrow his missing arm because at the start of the episode we see he has a prosthetic arm, like a fake one. But of course, Peter somewhat helped him make the lizard formula, which actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, when I get to the Amazing Spider-Man movies. I wonder if they got that idea from this episode. I just thought of that right now. But basically, Nas Connors has something against the Osborns because apparently there's a piece of paperwork explaining what happened to Dr. Kirk Connors, like how he lost his arm, and apparently it has something to do with Oscorp. And of course, Dr. Connors keeps injecting himself more with the lizard serum and turns more reptilian than human. He goes after Harry, so Peter suits up as Spider-Man to save him. Sadly, at the end of the episode, Dr. Connors does die in this show. That's right. Lizard gets killed off in his only appearance of this universe. Let's see. Sword of Shikata. Basically another original bad guy for the show. She's a ninja lady mercenary, which I think she's supposed to be a parody of Elektra. Actually, let me know in the comments. In the main 616 universe, has Spider-Man ever had a fight with Elektra or randomly team up with her or something like that? Let me know in the comments. Because the only time I can think of Spidey fighting that version or fighting Elektra is the early Ultimate Spider-Man comic. Because at that point, Elektra from the OG Ultimate Universe did work under Kingpin for some reason. But yeah, some witch movie producer asshole hunts exotic animals. He doesn't kill them though. He wants to keep them in a cage, and he has his sets on Spider-Man for some reason. So he hires Shikaka to. If I'm saying the name wrong, please let me know in the comments for those who have watched this show. But basically, she finds Spider-Man as a worthy opponent, so like she wants to kill him now instead of capture him. She even kills her former boss, Decapitation. But Spider-Man stops her at the end. Technically, I guess in some ways says kills her because she's technically 100 years old by the look of the elderly face we see of her. But she keeps her used by the source she used, which is magic. So Spider-Man just breaks that motherfucker and she dies instantly, like vanish. Let's see. Keeping secrets. We made a character named. Technically, our code name is Talon, but oh, Jesus, should have that on mute. So basically, a Black Cat knockoff, and for some reason, uh, she does date Harry for a bit, but she does break into places for money. I don't know if we ever find out if she worked with people, but she does get flirtatious with Spider-Man like how Felicia would. And honestly, I think they couldn't use Black Cat because originally in the making of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2, Black Cat was actually supposed to appear in the movie. Because if you guys play the Spider-Man 2 movie video game, she makes an appearance in there. But at the end of the episode, Peter does stop her from breaking into a mall to get a certain device that can hack into anywhere, I believe. But at the end of it, there's some police chasing them, and she gets shot, so she leaves. And of course, that hurts Harry because he got very close with this girl, and plus it freaked Peter and MJ out. Alright. Tight Squeeze, another original theme bad guys named, let's see, called Pterodax. Apparently, they're supposed to be vulture knockoffs. But also, we meet another female character originally for the show who becomes a new love interest for Peter named, I can't remember her name, but she has a nickname called Indy. And believe it or not, I think she was supposed to be this world's version of Gwen Stacy. Because we don't know if Gwen Stacy exists in this universe, to be honest. But she works at Empire State News organization as an intern there. And Peter now tries to sell some footage of Spider-Man action to the news to make some extra money. Because you know how Jameson is with him with the pictures. Stutter prick. But Peter stops them at the end of the day, the bad guys, especially after they threatened to bomb the newsroom with everyone in there, and of course Peter just happened to be there. But at the end of the episode, Indy kisses Peter, but the sad part is MJ sees that. I will say this though, MJ keeps hitting on Peter, even though at this point he is dating Indy. Let's see. Head Over Heels is basically, actually, you don't really see a supervillain in here. You just see a crazy goth fangirl who's a huge fan of Spider-Man, and she's this crazy. Like, basically, think of her as Harley Quinn in a way, because she thinks her and Spider-Man are soulmates. And she makes a device that reads minds, and the crazy part is it got overloaded, and now she thinks she hears Spider-Man in her mind. And this Spider-Man just sounds like pure evil. Like, she he convinces her to jump off a building to get his attention, and then kidnap MJ to eliminate her because now she sees MJ as a love rival to, well, Peter. Of course, Peter saves her and tricks her to thinking Spider-Man's somebody else underneath the mask, which is a good thing. Um, Also, the voice actress behind the goth girl in this episode was the voice actress is named Tara Strong. Anyone who knows that voice actor, let me know in the comments, because I think I heard her voice in other projects. I'm thinking Teen Titans for some reason. Let me know if I'm right. If not, please be polite about it. Also, I forgot to mention, Head Over Heels gives us the first introduction of Electro, technically, by showing us Max Dillon attends the same college as Peter in this universe. The party episode is where we see Electro becoming fully formed. And if you look at the image, he is blue, which is a nod to the Ultimate Spider-Man comics because Electro gets like a power up when he is completely blue. Plus, also if you play the Ultimate Spider-Man level, the first arc one on Shattered Dimensions, he is also blue. But actually, in this episode, we do see someone get killed by Electro, which is fair because the guy was constantly bullying him and make his life a living hell. So payback's a bitch. Instant karma. But it is kind of like sad. Like Peter's trying to relate to Max while being Spider-Man. Like I know what it's like to be a outcast or being picked on and stuff like that. But Max was just so consumed by vengeance, he didn't care anymore. Let's see. Flash Memory is the only episode we see of Flash Thompson. Some scientist is making some sort of drug that boosts your intelligence, but the latest version he gives the Flash is now fatal, so Peter now needs to save his bully. Of course, at first, Peter doesn't want to help him because after all the years of torment, but he can't turn his back on people. And of course, at the end of the day, he stops the mad scientist with thugs. So basically, episode 7 and this is technically 9 because the party is episode 8. They're the only one with two normal people being just crazy, except just the supervillain of the week, which I kind of wish we got that more in Spider-Man shows. Like seeing Peter do more street level stuff, which I'm hoping we still see that in season 2 of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. See. Spider-Man Disabled. This is the episode appearance of Silver Sable. She's trying to hunt down somebody in New York, and of course, Peter just happened to capture a picture of her to try to do the job, and of course, that backfires for him because now she's going after Peter and his friends that he got accidentally brought into this because he wants to see what was going on. But at the end of the day, he saves the day, but I think Silver Sable dies because she takes a big plunge to the bottom of the river at one of the bridges of New York City. We do see air bubbles, but it stops, so I think she drowned to death. Which I find funny, does she not know how to swim? When sparks fly, this is another Electro theme episode, so apparently I thought maybe Electro got killed. Like, basically Spider-Man, like, maybe killed him in a way, because Peter noticed something in the ground that was zapping Electro's power, so he thought he'd stick him with it to, like, turn back to normal, but it absorbed too much and he went inside the grid. And apparently, at the end of the party episode, you can still see Max Dillon was still alive. So basically, in this one, there was a blonde college girl that smiled at Max at the party before he became this, and he has a crush on her, becoming a bit stalkerish and trying to turn this person into, well, him, so he doesn't want to be alone anymore. Actually, there's a weird moment in this episode where Harry starts to see Spider-Man's not a bad guy, like even questioning, like, did he kill his father? Alright. Now we have the season finale, which is a two-parter. Spider-Man Mind Games Part 1 and 2. Um, this show's original villains are called the Game Twins. They're basically from Russia, and the parents were experiment on the game powers, and of course, it didn't work for the parents, but the kids got the powers. But sadly, the parents were executed by Kraven the Hunter, so they have a plan to get revenge on them by using Spider-Man as the assassin. So at the start of the episode, something goes wrong with a police transport of them. They mind control a cop to kill his partner with a shotgun to lure Spider-Man out, which it works. And basically, you think of it like if Jean Grey and Professor X were like just pure douchebags. They use their psychic abilities to just do whatever they want. This is what they did to Peter. In part one, they make Peter's they captured Peter, but they made him think that he defeated them and explore more of his subconscious. Like Peter could tell something is off though. Like there's some small flashes of him trying to break through, but with them working together, he doesn't stand a chance. Which is, I gotta say that besides Green Goblin sometimes getting the drop on Spider-Man, this is the only show where the big bads of the season finale managed to get the drop on him. Plus, this episode shows us Kraven while also bringing back some villains. Like, we got Pterodax, we got Silver Sable. At the end of part one, um, they made an illusion where basically Kraven killed Mary Jane after Peter finally revealed his identity to her. And of course, the mind trick in his mind, they now know Spider-Man is Peter Parker. So what they did to do, not only putting that image in their head, they also brought kidnap MJ to keep her just in case if he ever breaks free of it. So keep in mind when we see part two, Peter thinks MJ is dead and he is a vengeful Spider-Man. Like Kraven gets to see Spider-Man at his full power, technically. Also, Kraven's wearing a leather jacket instead of his iconic outfit. They couldn't CGI the fur of it, so that's why his jacket looks like a lion on there. Ryan. Lion. Fucking words. But at the end of part two, oh, I should mention this. In part one, we do get technically a Stan Lee cameo, but he voices a guy that convinces Peter to take revenge on Kraven the Hunter. Um, let's see. In part two, Peter finds Kraven and tries to kill him, like even hangs him by his webbing. But Peter now broke through the illusion or what was imprinted in his head because he saw something that wasn't supposed to be there last time when he saw technically yesterday for him. And then he starts to realize he's been manipulated, so he asks Indy for help one last time to find Mary Jane before something bad happens to her. Which he does save her, but sadly, the Mind Twins trick Indy to be thinking that she is the sister of them, like this one right here. And Peter accidentally pushes her off the roof without realizing it, and she's in a comatose state. And now everyone in New York hates Spider-Man completely. Even MJ has doubts about Spider-Man now, which is stupid. I mean, come on. The guy saved your life how many times so far in the show? And you're gonna turn your back on him? At the end of the series, the mind trades are basically killed because, well, Peter used a drug from the hospital that's supposed to keep their powers at bay or at least knock them out. And they really should have not pushed Peter that far to the point where they're trying to kill him, and sadly, it does not go well for them. Instant karma's a bitch. But because of what they did to make Peter do, he doesn't believe himself to be Spider-Man anymore. So this show ends with Peter throwing his Spider-Man suit in the river. Spider-Man no more. And if you were thinking that this was a continuation of the Sam Raimi stuff, then that should have been the starting out point for Spider-Man 2, but it was not. But anyway, if I had to say I had to rate the show, I give it 8.5. It was an interesting take on Spider-Man because we see him deal with somewhat adult, mature things, which is very interesting. And I find it funny a music channel posted a superhero show. So, yeah. I would recommend you guys please give this show a watch. It's still a unique take of Spider-Man, plus it's technically somewhat connected to the Raimi universe, but not really. Like, the only movie it's connected to from the jumping off point is the 2002 movie. So, yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think of MTV Spider-Man. If you guys like it or you hate it, up to you. It's your opinion. This is my opinion. And, yeah. So, that was MTV Spider-Man. We'll be getting to Spider-Man 3 shortly. Anyway, excuse me for 1 second.